Hello, my name is Greensville and welcome to part 1 of the Rank 2 guide for Japan. For this portion of the guide, I will cover the tanks in Rank 2 from Battle Ratings 2.0 to the start of 2.7. A lot of these tanks are different in their own way but built on the same design, so they suffer from the same flaw. So let's get started. The first tank in this guide is the Ho-Ni-1, built on the chassis of the Chi-Ha but is an open top tank. Unlike the Chi-Ha being a 4 crew tank, this is a 3 crew tank. It has the same armor value as the Chi-Ha with 25mm of RHA in the front, 25mm of RHA in the side, 12mm and 25mm of RHA in the upper front plate at a constructional angling of 80 degrees and 63 degrees. The one key note is the whole machine gun has been removed and a 10mm RHA plate has been riveted in its place, giving an effective armor of 35mm of RHA for that part of the hull, along with two 25mm RHA plates riveted to the front of the turret near the gun, giving the front of the turret an effective armor of 50mm of RHA. The Ho-Ni-1 uses a 75mm gun and has access to a pretty good APHE round with a max penetration of 103mm and an OK-HE round with a max penetration of 12mm at any range with an explosive mass of 810 grams. Being a fixed turret tank, the gun has a horizontal guidance of plus or minus 10 degrees and a vertical guidance of -10 to 20 degrees, so hull aiming at close range will be preferred due to the strict horizontal guidance, and with the 8-second reload rate, you will have to take your time and aim your shots. It has a max speed of 40 km per hour, which is good, but it struggles to reach close to max speed even on pavement, and has a lackluster 6 km per hour reverse speed, so you don't want to get caught in a bad situation. The method of playing this tank is to either be close range assist to the front line, since the APHE round will have little trouble penetrating any tank it will face in the front at its battle rating, or it can take a sniping role. With its speed, it can get to 30 km per hour decently, and the APHE round does not drop anywhere near as hard as the previous tank's heat round, so it can snipe effectively. With the constraints of its gun tolerance and armor value, a sniper role would be preferred. The downside of this tank is not only the open top, but the max vertical guidance at only -10 degrees would make hill fighting difficult, meaning that you would have to set up on a gentler hill or near level ground, leaving you mostly exposed to the enemy. The Ho-Ni 3 is just like the Ho-Ni 1 and is also built on the chassis of the Chi-Ha, but unlike the Ho-Ni 1, it is not an open top tank. Having the same armor as the Ho-Ni 1, the difference is the 10mm RHA plate covering the machine gun port is now bigger. The back of the turret is closed off with 25mm of RHA, and the top of the turret is now closed off with a 10mm RHA plate. Another difference is the crew count is now up to 5 with 4 people in the turret. The turret is still fixed to the hull and has the same plus or minus 10 degrees of horizontal guidance and the same -10 to 20 degree vertical guidance. It is equipped with the same 75mm gun with the same APHE round with a max penetration of 103mm and the same HE round with the max penetration of 12mm at any range, with the same 810 grams of explosive mass. With the 2 additional loaders in the back of the turret, the reload speed has increased from almost 8 seconds a shot to a little more than 7 seconds a shot. It has the same max speed of 40 km per hour and reverse speed of 6 km per hour, and it also has trouble getting close to max speed on pavement. The Ho-Ni 3 should be played just like the Ho-Ni 1, preferring more of a sniper role due to its low armor and large profile, but also because the turret now hangs outside the width of the hull, meaning that the turret is easier to hit. The downside of this tank is mostly the same as the Ho-Ni 1, in the sense that the vertical guidance will cause issues with aiming behind a hill, mostly in the sense of the turret. Since the armor is mostly flat and it is quite large and sticks out, it is easy to penetrate. And with most of the crew in the turret, almost any APHE shot that penetrates the turret could mean a knockout. The Chi-Ha Kai is the upgraded version of the Chi-Ha. With a 5th crew member added to the turret means that the tank crew compartment is more compact. The turret of the Chi-Ha Kai is now longer and larger to allow room for the 5th crew member, but also to accommodate the longer barreled 47mm gun instead of the short barrel 57mm gun on the Chiha. The 47mm gun only has access to an APHE round with a max penetration of 77mm, which is okay for its battle rating. The armor of the Chiha Kai is mostly the same. The only changes are the additional 15mm RHA tracks mounted to the front of the upper front plate, making the armor value 35mm of RHA. Also, with the extension of the turret, the 25mm RHA side and rear armor now has almost no constructional angling instead of the near rounded back of the Chiha. The Chiha Kai also has a max speed of 40 km per hour and a reverse speed of 6 km per hour, and also suffers from the same struggle of taking a while to get close to max speed even on pavement. So the method of playing this tank is to either take a close range / flanking role due to its APHE round. It may have trouble penetrating enemy tanks in the front at battle ratings 2.3 to 3.3, so a shot to the side of the hull would be preferred. Or taking a mid-range role to hit tanks in the side, since the APHE round will still have a okay time from range to penetrate enemy tanks in the side. Along with having a -15° vertical guidance means that peeking over a hill should not be that much of an issue. The downside of this tank is not only the very weak armor for its battle rating, but also with the extension of the turret means it's easier to hit, and with the crew compartment being compact, almost any shot to the turret will knock out most if not the whole crew. The last tank of this guide is the M16 MGMC and is the first import tank in the Japanese tech tree. The American AA half-track is an exact copy of the one in the US tech tree, but for those who have never played it, let's go over it. The M16 is a 3-crewman AA truck with a driver and commander in the front and a gunner in the back. But unlike the Type 94, this truck is armored. Being a US armored troop transporter converted into a mobile AA system, it has 6.35mm of RHA for the whole truck and also the gunner shield, along with a 12.7mm of RHA for the driver and commander bullet shield. The M16's weapon system is a quad-mounted 50 cal machine gun positioned in the back of the truck. It has access to API rounds with a max penetration of 30mm, an AP round with a max penetration of 31mm, and an APIT round with a max penetration of 29mm. Each machine gun has access to 200 rounds per magazine with a total ammo pool of 800 rounds. It has a slow reload rate of 18 seconds. The weapon system can look forward, unlike the Type 94, but it cannot look down past about 2 degrees due to the front crew compartment. But on the sides and back, it has a vertical guidance of -10 degrees. It is very fast with a max speed of 73 km per hour, meaning you can get to a key location quickly, and a reverse speed of 17 km per hour, so you can get out of a bad situation fast. It does take a while to get up to max speed, but it can get to upper 40 km per hour quickly. The method of playing this AA truck would be mostly for AA, since the 50 cal rounds will have trouble penetrating the enemy tanks at battle ratings 2.7 to 3.7 even in the side. So if you want to go tank hunting, you would have to go after thin armored tanks, open-top vehicles, or cars and trucks. The downside of the M16 is that it is an open-top vehicle, so any overpressure mechanics will apply to this. But also the armor is quite thin, so most aircraft can penetrate your armor, and any enemy 50 cal round will be able to penetrate anywhere on the truck. And all other machine gun rounds will be able to take out the crew from either the open portions of the truck, the driver and commander viewports, and the side armor of the truck. That is it for part 1 of the Rank 2 guide for Japan. Overall, these tanks are built on the same chassis, so they suffered from the same flaw. If you liked this video or it was helpful to you, please leave a like. And if you want a more in-depth look at one of these vehicles, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see the continuation of these guides, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.